Hey, welcome back. It's time for another What's in Your Kit video, and it's a real privilege to share these with you and to get to talk with the folks who send them in, so please reach out if you'd like to do one of these in the future. We're headed back to Australia again, this time to meet Spencer, who's a freelance operator.
Hi everyone, my name's Spencer.
Doing audio and video work, and he's based out of Melbourne.
In Melbourne!
He's done a fantastic video for us here, so I'm going to be quiet here in just a moment, but if you see anything along the way that you have questions about, leave them in the comments below so Spencer will see them, and then also be sure to check out the description of this video for all of Spencer's direct links and contact info so you can follow him directly. I want to say a massive thank you to Spencer for putting this together. I know it took some work and I really appreciate it.
Hi everyone, my name's Spencer. I'm a touring operator based here in Australia, and this is what's in my kit. Before I get started, just want to say a huge thanks to Steve from DcSoundOp for having me on the channel. Real pleasure to be on here, and a bit of a full circle moment actually, because I remember when I was building out this kit, I was looking at videos to get inspiration for what I would put in my kit. So really great to be on here and show you guys what I've built specific to my workflow. Speaking of my workflow, I do a mix of audio and video work and a lot of traveling as well. So it's really great to have a portable kit like this that I can bring with me anywhere. And it's got really handy stuff in it, no matter if I'm doing front of house or RF coordination or even some video work and camera directing. No matter what I'm doing, I find this kit to be really, really helpful. All right, so without any further ado, we'll get right into it. I'm just going to show some of the more major bits of equipment. I'm not going to get into every single adapter that I've got because there is heaps. But yeah, all of the major pieces of equipment I'll show you, starting with this audio interface. It's a Focusrite Scarlett Solo. It's one of the newer ones with a USB-C port on it, but just great for anything an audio interface can be used for. Measurement microphones, putting audio into a stream computer. Now in here, I've got a RF spectrum analyzer. A lot of my work is RF coordination, and I use Shure Wireless Workbench for that. So this is the Tiny SA Ultra. It's quite a new piece of equipment. Been using it for about a year now, and I've got a couple of antennas to go with it, just some quarter wave antennas there. But what's really great about this is similar to the RF Explorer. You can walk around a large venue and get a better picture of the RF environment that you're dealing with, especially if you've got lots of rooms spread over, say, a convention center. It's really great to be able to walk around that entire space and get a really good understanding of what you're dealing with. However, unlike the RF Explorer, this has a much larger bandwidth, and so I find it really handy to be scanning all the way up into the 2.4 and 5.8 gigahertz realm and figure out what's going on even up there, which is really handy. All right, also got some headphones in here. These are the Audio-Technica M40Xs. I find that the 40s are a bit flatter in their frequency response than the 50s. I had these for years. They're still working really well. If I'm doing something that's audio critical, I'll bring my Beyerdynamic headphones, but for 90% of the work that I do, they work just fine. I've also got a Bosch laser tape measure in here. Really handy when you get into a room, you can quickly figure out the size of that space. You can pop it on the ground and have it shooting up at the bottom of a PA hang, and then you know when you're at trim height. All sorts of use cases for something like this, really, really handy. And then moving on to some of the smaller bits of equipment. This is a decimator. This one happens to be the MD Cross V2. If you don't know what a decimator is, have a look online. If you do any sort of video work, these are really, really handy, converting between HDMI and SDI. This one happens to have test patterns and overlays as well, which is a really handy feature. Also got a router in here. This is a little GL iNet router, little wireless travel router. Super handy, audio, front of house, whatever you're doing. I mean, even video things these days, everything is network based now. So having a router of your own is really handy. And speaking of network, I've also got this Ubiquiti, what is it? The Ubiquiti Flex Mini. It's a 5-port managed switch. Really, really affordable too. This is a recent purchase, and it replaced an old Netgear unmanaged switch that I had. Found with the Netgear one, it's just a little unreliable for things like Dante and NDI, and I really wanted something that I could trust. Got some Shure IEMs. I'm not really an in-ears person, I'm more of a headphones guy, but I've still got, I think they're the 215s or something, just their baseline model. Still great to have as a just in case. Got some business cards and things in there. I've also got a Shure SM58 with a switch, great talkback mic, and being an SM58, if for some reason I need to use it, it's going to sound really nice, so really like that. All right, next I've got a little mic pouch here. It's one of these Rode zip pouches. A couple of useful mics in here, starting with, of course, a measurement microphone. This happens to be the Behringer ECM 8000, little cheap Behringer mic. It's actually surprisingly good. I use this with the Scarlett Solo just to get a general idea of the frequency response and to time and phase align my PA and delay hangs and everything. A smart alternative that I'll tell you about is Open Sound Meter. If you're not using that yet, get on board, have a look at Open Sound Meter. If you're a little bit intimidated by smart or you don't have the budget to purchase a smart license, which, let's be honest, that's fair enough, have a look at Open Sound Meter. Really, really great free open source option. All right, next in the bag is a Rode NTG1 shotgun mic, really good for crowd noise and just picking up general ambience, especially if I'm doing monitors and want to pump that into the in-ears. And then I've got a pair of these Rode M5 pencil condensers. Really, really fantastic mics for so many uses. I mean, drum overheads, I've used these to mic up a guitar, used these to mic up a harp recently. Just really versatile mics, and they sound really, really nice, especially for the price. Now, while I pop this back, I'll tell you about some of the other things I've got in here that I won't pull out, but I've got a high-vis vest, I've got a few cables, a few XLR cables, I've got an emergency poncho just for some of those outdoor gigs where it might get rained out. Then I've got an Elgato Stream Deck. This is the Stream Deck XL. Really great to use with Companion, as I'm sure most of you know. If you're not using Companion yet, Companion's really great. It connects with so much of the equipment that we use on a daily basis. You can do so much. Companion's really, really powerful, and I suggest you check it out if you haven't already. Now, I've got a small network tester here, really great for just checking network lines. Won't speak too much on this. I don't use it all that much, but when I do need to test something, it really does come in handy. Speaking of testing, I've got a cable tester here. This is one of those behemoths where you can test pretty much any type of cable. It's fairly straightforward. It doesn't do anything fancy. It just shows you if the connection's working, but that's all you need. It saved plenty of shows. I've also got a multimeter in here. This is a smart multimeter. Kai Wheats is the brand. I think this is just a cheap one on Amazon, but really works really well. I've also got these little PC DIs in here. I've got two of them from Switchcraft. They're the Switchcraft 318s. I got these over the radial ones because I don't like the fixed cable on the radial DIs, on the PC DIs that is. So obviously great, you can plug in 3.5mm here from a phone, a tablet, a PC, iPod, whatever, and then you get balanced XLR out. It does summit to mono, so just be mindful of that, but if you're not too fussed about the stereo-ness of a connection, especially for a laptop feed up at a lectern on a corporate show or something, yeah, it's a fantastic option. All right, also in the kit I've got this Pelican 1020 case, and inside I've got a DcSoundOp Perfect Q Micro. It's really great to have one just in case. It's the industry standard wireless clicker system for presentations. It works over RF instead of Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or anything, so it's much more reliable and has a much further range than some of those small Logitech clickers you might see. All right, now it's on to the adapters. I've got these little pencil cases filled with useful adapters separated by what they are. So this one's audio, I've got video, USB and networking. So I'll start with audio. I'm not going to go over every single adapter because these are jam-packed with adapters, but I'll just show you some of the more relevant stuff. I've got some XLR turnarounds in here, got some TRS to XLR, some RCA adapters in there. I've got a pad, 20 dB pad. Also got this handy piece of kit where you plug this into the console or into a stage box. You give it phantom power, the light on the end will illuminate, and then it sends back pink noise. So just really great to have a pink noise source or to check a line. Yeah, super useful, nifty little bit of kit. All right, so now onto the video one. I've got in here a bunch of SDI barrels, really useful just to join SDI cables together. I've got this USB-C to HDMI adapter. I've got a few of these in here. These days, of course, when presenters bring their own laptop, chances are it's only going to have a USB-C port on it. So yes, they should bring an adapter. They should be prepared for that, but we all know that that's not going to always be the case. So really great to have some of our own. All right, in this kit I've got some Neutrik Ethercon couplers. Also got a couple of DMX adapters, 3 to 5 pin, 5 to 3. What else have we got in here? I've got a few useful things for some of the music gigs I do. So got some guitar picks, I've got a drum key in here. And then onto the last kit, I've got, this is USB. So I've got a 4-port USB hub, got some of these USB to SD card readers, got some USB-C to Ethernet adapters, and plenty of these USB to USB-C adapters as well. Just a bunch of useful adapters that come in handy. I've got a multi adapter here with HDMI and a few other things on it too, but yeah, really handy to have these adapters. You just never know when you're going to need them. All right, now we'll go up the top. I've got in here some of the power supplies for the equipment, so the decimator, the router, the network switch. I've also got these little pouches where I've got some USBs that I can give to clients. I've also got some of these USBs, which I'll show you. They've got a little magic trick where they are not only normal USBs, but you flip them around and it's a USB-C side. So super versatile and excellent to use no matter which system you're using. I've got some SD cards as well. Then moving down to this pocket, I've got all the clips for the microphones that I've got. I've got a bunch of Sharpies and some 3/8 to 1/4 inch adapters for mic stands. This one, I've got some electrical tape, E-tape as you guys in the States call it. I've got my earplugs in here as well. I've got some locks in here for the Pelican case when I travel. I've got this small tape measure as well. This is a 2-meter tiny tape measure, really useful for miking up a drum kit when you want to eliminate phase problems. You can make sure that everything's in its right spot. Looking up in this top pouch, I've got some skin tape, really handy for headset mics and things like that. If you need to put anything, any cabling on people's skin, you've got to make sure that you use this stuff because it's hypoallergenic. If you use electrical tape or something, people's skin could get irritated. You need to make sure that you've got proper skin tape. Also got these single-use super glues in here. Really handy for all sorts of things that come up. I've got a utility blade in there, I've got a power tester. And then moving on to the last pouch, I've got a bunch of zip ties and I've got some calipers and some of these Nipex or Nipex snips. Just really great to have some good quality tools at your disposal. All right, that's about it for what's in the case. I'll close this one up and I'll show you what else I bring in my laptop bag. All right, so the case is all closed up. As for the laptop, I use a MacBook Air. This is a recent model, an M2 Air. Got this instead of the Pro simply because of the price, and I'm not doing anything really demanding with it. It's wireless workbench or smart or background music or something like that. It's not anything super intensive. And if I ever do need to do some encoding, it's fairly powerful, so it can pretty much rip through anything. Next thing I wanted to show you guys is this. It's a neck stand laptop stand, just super compact and portable, being able to fold up like that. I can carry it in my laptop bag. Just great to elevate the laptop off of the table a little bit. Next up is a fairly new addition to the things that I bring to an event. This is a custom comms headset. This one happens to be a bone conducting headset that I modified to work with Clearcom systems. But just having your own comms headset, especially for some of the longer days, if you're doing a big festival or a tour, you may have that headset on for 12 plus hours a day. And trust me, you don't want scratchy ear muffs on your ears for that long. It gets boring real quick. So having your own headset just adds to the comfort while you're at an event. Now, the last thing in here I wanted to show you guys are my Beyerdynamic headphones. These are the DT770 Pros, the 80 ohm model. I don't bring these everywhere, but if I'm mixing front of house or I'm doing something audio specific, I will bring these because they're just much more comfortable than the M40s that I've got. And that is what's in my kit and what I bring to shows on a daily basis. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below and I'll be replying once this video goes live. And if you guys want to see anything in particular, I'm thinking I'll do a few videos on my channel going into the specifics of exactly what adapters are in here, the software that I use, and the process of making that custom headset work for Clearcom systems. So if you guys are interested in that, please let me know. Once again, huge thanks to Steve from DcSoundOp for having me. It's great to be on the channel. And if you're looking to book an audio or video operator, whether you're in Australia or abroad, please feel free to get in touch. My LinkedIn's going to be in the description. All right, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Once again, I want to say a massive thank you to Spencer for taking the time to put this together. Leave your questions for him down below. And if you don't have any questions, let me know if you saw anything here that you haven't seen before. What did you find most interesting? And is there anything that you're going to run out and buy right away now that you've seen Spencer using it? As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.